Hi, I'm Bruce Matsunaga, Director of Digital Technology for the Department of English at ASU. Today I'm going to show you one way of awarding participation points and tracking absences in Blackboard. I'll go to my Blackboard shell, and then I'll go down to the full grade center. I'll click on Create Column. I always need to give the column a name, so I'll just call it Participation. This should make sense to the students. I can leave this as score or give it a letter grade, depending on your preferences. I'll leave it as score for now. For the points possible, I recommend putting in the number that represents the maximum number of participation points that the student can earn in the class. I'll arbitrarily put 400. One way that you could calculate this, depending on how nuanced you wish to be about this, is determine how many number of points you wish to give the student for full participation for each class day, and then take that number and multiply it by the number of class days. That would be your total points possible. I don't have to give a due date since this will run for the entire semester. And everything else, all the options, I can leave as they are and their defaults. And I'll click Submit. Just like every new column in Blackboard, it will appear on the far right. So what I recommend is that at the beginning of the semester, you fill in the maximum number of points for each student in the class. So in this case, I chose 400. And so this student is receiving the full amount of participation points, and then you can say everyone's getting an A at this point in the class. When the student fails to show up for class or is late or just doesn't participate, perhaps they don't bring in a draft of their paper during a peer review day or something like that, where you wish to deduct points. In this case, I'll just lower the number just given the appropriate number of points. So here I'm taking off 5 points, so I'm changing it to 395. When you hover the mouse over any cell, you'll see there's a More Options arrow. And I'll leave the student a quick comment. So I'm going to say minus 5 points. Missing draft of missing 5 points, missing 5 points, missing draft of paper on peer review day. And then I'll click Submit. If the student misses class again, I might take off more points. So depending on how many points per day you wish to deduct, I might go down another 5 points. And I'll hover the mouse again and go back to Quick Comment. I could have put the date of this peer review day miss. I probably should have. In this case, I'll say miss class on this way the student will know, why they are losing points. If I go to my student view of the class and go to My Grades, as a student I can come in and I can see the participation amount. I can see the number of points I have in the class, and if I click on the little chat icon, I can view the feedback that I left. You can have as many lines as you want of feedback, so take advantage of that feature. It's one way to let the students know and to give a visual record of how you're awarding points and when they miss class. So this can function also as a participation and attendance column, both, since you'll be tracking both of those in this instance. And that's it. Let me know if you have any questions.